Hello everyone and welcome to Studio TK's Basic Twining Tutorials. Today we are going to finish up our twine textile here. So there is a few things that I want to mention before we continue. And that is, yesterday I had mentioned that I like a border at the top of my textile and a border at the bottom of my textile. Now that's just a personal preference, but you do need to, when you start twining, twine 2 rows at the top, stop, flip your loom over so that the bottom becomes the top, and start twining. So you either twine your 2 rows if that's what you're doing, or 4, whatever, or just twining along, doesn't matter. You have to flip your loom. If you do not, your warp will probably come off the nails as you're going along, and that just makes a horrible mess and is hard to get it fixed. So the other thing I wanted to say too is we twine from the top down. So after you have your border, if that's what you want, or you're just twining with no pattern, then twine along, keep twining till you get to roughly the middle, and then stop. Then flip your loom over so the bottom becomes the top, and twine down to where the center point is, where they meet. And then we finish. So I had also mentioned about a crochet hook or our handy dandy little hemostats. This is what I prefer. I have not gotten the knack of making that little hook work to save my life. So whatever works for you, but I'm going to use hemostats to finish up. I also used them a little bit earlier before this last row because it's hard to get my big fingers in there. So whatever works for you, you'll figure it out as you go along. So I also call this last row the row of woe, because it is difficult to get the fabric in there. So, oh, here's a little bag clip. As I had said, they come in handy to keep what you're not using away. I usually tuck all of this web that I'm not using in behind and then use the bag clip, but it was just easier to have it out here in the front. Show you guys. So I have to move, yeah, so I can get in here. Whoops, sorry, knocking you around. Okay, pull you back a bit. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just continuing to twine, but I'm using my hemostats to poke it through that tiny little space and to pull it out. And like I said, she's tough. So just keep on going along until the two of them meet up. So, and I know once you do your first textile, you will definitely understand why I refer to this last row as the row of woe. So put them in there. Oops, sorry, I'm knocking you around. It's tight, like I said. All right. Okay, now we are at, excuse me, where they meet. So, of course, you can see a warp here, and you can see a warp here. We want to cover those, so we twine over them. And then this one that covers this warp, I do not pull out to the front. I pull it out and into the back of the textile. And same with this one. I don't pull it in through the front, I pull it out through the back. Make a little hole here so it'll be easier to pull it through. Go through there. You just kind of want to mimic to make it look like it's still twined there. It's one of those funny things. So this one that's on my right hand side, I'm going to get rid of him first. I'm going to poke him in there. Find him in the back here and pull him through. Come on. There we go. Push that down a little bit. Fix it up. There we go. That looks better. And then this last one, same thing. He's going to go in right in there. Push him through there. Back. Pull him through. And I just give everything a little bit of a tug. Have a look at my textile on the front. And if there's any adjusting that needs to be done, this is the time to do it. I find it just easier while it's on the loom. That all looks good. I'm happy with it. Hemostats are good for this too, for just a little bit of adjusting here and there. So you want to go along and just have a look and do that. Fixes everything up nicely. Now to take it off of the loom. So I have to remove it from here. Flip it back. Put it back on here. Let's see if I can do that. This way. Pull you back a little bit. There you go. And now you want to pull these rods out. Now the bigger the textile, of course, the harder pulling the rods out. But they should just slide out easy. This side. And then we pull it off. This is why you don't want heads on your nails. You don't have to be too gentle with it. There. And then off the bottom. I flip it around. There. Now it's off of our loom. Ta-da! Lovely little textile. So now we have these ends that we need to weave. Oops, knocking you around so bad today. I'm so sorry. We have all these ends that we want to weave in. So I cut them, I'd say 2-3 inches, well, about 3 inches, 4, and cut them off. We'll move you around again. Push down here. Hopefully you can see on my lap. Sorry guys, this is kind of an awkward thing to do here. It's one of those things where you wish you had 12 hands, you know, or at least 8 like an octopus. So get those out of the way. Now these ends, I take them and try to move you down here again onto my lap. Hopefully you can see here. I'm hoping. Maybe not. Okay, let's try that. So these ends, they're pretty easy. I just knot them up. So the two that are closest together, you can see a little bit of the warp there. I just make a basic knot. Tie it in. Do the other one. You don't want to pull too tight, otherwise your tension's going to be all weird in the front. Do the other one. And then this is where you take either your tapestry needle, your crochet hook, or your hemostats. And with the hemostats, or any of them, I go through a couple of rows, 4, 5, whatever works the best. Put my fabric in there and pull it through. So whichever direction the knot is, that's where you want, you know, the way that your fabric lies, that's where you want it to go through. Pull through, turn around, do the other side. I know this is difficult for you guys to see. I'm sorry about that, but I'm not good at being a video editor or any of that kind of jazz. So if you could just bear with me. It's pretty simple, you know, I'm sure you grasp the concept. So now they're all woven in. So this is where I go along and I snip them off, tidy it all up. Can you see? Sorry, keep putting me far out there. So you can see here. Get rid of those ends. If they're too tiny, can't save them. And of course they don't. But they do make good stuffing for other projects. If you're making a pillow or something like that, save them for the stuffing. Now, there is some of the ends from when I was twining and joining, and I just have a good close look at them. Make sure that they can be snipped off. Same thing with that little guy. I don't mind them sticking out a little bit like that. Doesn't bother me whatsoever. Some people it does, but does not bother me. And just clean it up in any little strings or whatever. So there's the back side. Whoops. And then the front of our textile. So move you guys up here again. Sorry. I gotta get rid of some scissors here out of my hands. There. Okay, so hi, you're square with the world now. So I want you to notice here that the top, the loops from the warp and the nails, those will relax and spring back in to the textile. Just kind of shape it a little bit, lay it flat. Within a good day, it'll be where you want it to be. Oh, and there's my noisy Sonny. Lord knows what he's barking at. But any questions or concerns, or anything at all, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. And happy twining, everybody.